Hello noob tubers and welcome to my Battlefield 3 shooting accuracy guide thing. I'm going to be dividing this into three parts. The first part 1, is going to be more basic things about what is recoil and bullet spread and how to deal with those mechanics. Part 2 is going to be about getting to know one individual weapon and to get very proficient with one gun. And then part 3 is going to be more advanced stuffs. Alright, let's get into it. So what is recoil and bullet spread? These are two mechanics that in Battlefield 3 that hinder your accuracy. The first one I'm going to talk about is recoil. Alright, what is recoil? Well, recoil is pretty simple. When you start shooting, your gun will start kicking. Now every gun kicks a little differently, but you can see how the M16 kicks up and to the right. So simply to counter this, all you have to do is just pull your mouse along that line. Pretty simple. Alright, now what is bullet spread? Well, in Battlefield 3, unlike some shooters, although a lot like most, as you keep firing, your gun suddenly becomes less and less accurate. As you notice, the longer I shoot at the wall, here, let me get a wall that's farther away. The longer I shoot at it, see how my first shots are on target? And then the more I keep shooting, it keeps getting less and less accurate. This is a mechanic in Battlefield 3 where after every shot you fire, your next shot will be less and less accurate. So to counter this, you have to burst. And bursting is pretty simple. Basically, you just don't hold down your trigger forever. Now, there are certain ranges where bursting is okay. Like, if there is an enemy, like if this wall was an enemy, you can just dump your whole mag into him because the accuracy isn't a huge deal. But say he's way down there. Now when I'm doing this, my bullets are not even coming close. Like they're hitting like fucking people that are like 10 feet away from him. So how do you burst? Well, bursting is pretty simple. Basically, I mean, it's basically what it sounds like. Now, most guns have a burst function, but I wouldn't recommend this because you don't always want to use 3-shot bursts. I'll get into more about knowing how long of a burst you need to do in part 2, but for now let's cover just a basic 4 to 5 round burst. Pretty simple. So 4 to 5 rounds. Yeah, pretty simple. Now the important thing is that you also have to counter the recoil. So see how much the gun kicks? So you just pull down that amount. See how accurate that is? Now you might be asking, well, that's a pretty slow way to kill someone, just dumping your mag into them might be faster. Well, the cool thing about bursting is that you can tap fire, and what that is where you do multiple consecutive bursts very rapidly and close to each other. So it's almost as if you're full auto, but you just lose one bullet every 5. So tap firing looks a little bit like this. So you get the rate of fire almost a full auto with the accuracy of about of a 5-round burst. And so this is something that you're going to want to practice. Now, what I would recommend for practicing is find a target like this here and just do a burst. Right? Reload, whatever. Make sure you throw down an ammo pack so you can do this for hours on end. Just do one burst at a time until you get that down. No. Make sure, get it all in the hole. God, that sounds dirty. Once you get it all in the hole, though, practice doing multiple bursts. Long ones, short ones, just getting bursts. The hardest part about this, I mean, it's pretty easy, but the hardest part about it is some guns have a really high first shot recoil, and what that is alright, so when you're shooting, each bullet kicks the same amount, right? Although your first shot kicks an additional bit. So for the M16, it's 2.6. So your first shot kicks 2.6 times as much as your rest shot, or your next shots. So what this means is that the shorter your burst, every time you start firing again, you get that first shot multiplier. And so this is why I wouldn't recommend using a gun with burst mode. They're not that they're bad, but they're a lot more difficult to use because you have to deal with the first shot multiplier a lot. With a gun fully automatic, when you're bursting it, you can do longer bursts, like 7-round bursts, 7 to 8, 9, longer bursts, and you don't have to deal with it as much. Because every time you get that first shot multiplier, it's a lot harder to control. Well, now that you know the basics, click this link right here. Yeah, to go to part 2.